Life can feel like a dark maze, a never-ending labyrinth where every turn seems to lead to more confusion and despair. This feeling is especially true when you're stuck in a toxic relationship. The emotional turmoil can be overwhelming, making it hard to see a way out. You feel trapped, lost, and alone. The isolation can be suffocating, as if the walls are closing in on you. Your heart aches with every harsh word, every broken promise. The pain seems endless, a constant reminder of the love that once was but is now tainted. Toxic relationships drain your joy, leaving you feeling empty and hollow. It's as if the very essence of who you are is being eroded away. But there is hope. Even in the darkest times, a glimmer of light can break through the shadows. Even in the darkest times, God's love shines through. His light can guide you out of the shadows and into a place of peace and healing. You are not alone in this journey. Many have walked this path before you, and many will walk it after you. Many people have walked this path before you, seeking solace and guidance. Their stories are a testament to the resilience of the human spirit. The Bible, filled with stories of human struggle and divine intervention, offers a beacon of hope. It is a source of comfort and strength. It offers a beacon of hope, reminding us that we are never truly alone. It reminds us that even in our darkest moments we are loved and cherished by God. He sees your pain, He hears your cries, and He promises to walk beside you every step of the way. His presence is a constant source of comfort and reassurance, and He promises to walk beside you every step of the way. The journey may be long and arduous, but you are never alone. The journey may be long and the road may be hard, filled with obstacles and challenges. And the road may be hard, but with faith as your compass you can navigate through the toughest terrains. But with faith as your compass, you will find your way out of the darkness. Trust in the journey, and believe in the light that awaits you. You will find your way out of the darkness. The dawn always follows the night, and with each step forward you move closer to the light. The Bible is a source of immense comfort, offering words of hope and strength for those facing difficult situations. In times of despair, Scripture reminds us that we are not alone and that a brighter future awaits. One verse that offers comfort is Psalm 34, verse 18. The Lord is close to the brokenhearted and saves the crushed in spirit. This verse reminds us that even when we feel most alone, God is near, ready to lift us from our despair and offer solace to our wounded hearts. Isaiah 40, verse 31 tells us, "But those who hope in the Lord will renew their strength. They will soar on wings like eagles. They will run and not grow weary. They will walk and not be faint." This passage speaks of the transformative power of faith, promising renewed strength and resilience to those who place their trust in God. When you're in a toxic relationship, it's easy to feel weak and powerless. The constant negativity and emotional drain can make you question your worth and strength. You might feel trapped as if there's no way out, and the weight of the situation can be overwhelming. But it's in these moments of profound vulnerability that we can find a deeper, more resilient strength within ourselves. The Bible teaches us that true strength is found in our dependence on God. It's not about our own abilities or our capacity to endure hardships alone. Instead, it's about recognizing our limitations and turning to a higher power for support and guidance. This divine strength is always available to us, waiting to be tapped into. His power is made perfect in our weakness. When we acknowledge our frailties and lean on God, we allow His strength to manifest in our lives. This doesn't mean that our problems will magically disappear, but it does mean that we will be equipped with the fortitude to face them. 2 Corinthians 12 verses 9 to 10 reminds us, "But He said to me, 'My grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness.'" This powerful scripture reassures us that God's grace is all we need. It is sufficient to carry us through any trial or tribulation we may face. Therefore I will boast all the more gladly about my weaknesses, so that Christ's power may rest on me. Embracing our weaknesses is not a sign of defeat, but a testament to our faith. It shows that we trust in God's plan and His ability to work through us, even in our most fragile states. That is why, for Christ's sake, I delight in weaknesses and insults and hardships and persecutions and difficulties. These challenges are opportunities for growth and for experiencing God's power in a profound way. They remind us that we are not alone and that we have a source of strength far greater than ourselves. For when I am weak, then I am strong. This paradoxical truth is at the heart of our faith. It teaches us that our true strength comes not from our own efforts but from our reliance on God. In our weakest moments, we can find the greatest strength by turning to Him. These verses encourage us to embrace our vulnerabilities, knowing that it is through our weaknesses that God's strength shines through most brightly. Our struggles and challenges are not signs of failure but opportunities to experience His grace and power in our lives. When we surrender our struggles to Him, acknowledging our human limitations, we open ourselves to receiving His boundless grace and power. This act of surrender is not a sign of giving up but a powerful declaration of faith and trust in God's plan for us. In our moments of weakness, we find the strength to rise, not by our own might, but through the unwavering support and love of our Creator. Let us embrace our vulnerabilities and trust in His perfect plan, knowing that in Him we are truly strong. Love should never come at the cost of your well-being. It's important to establish healthy boundaries in any relationship, including those that have become toxic. Matthew 5 verse 44 reminds us to love our enemies and pray for those who persecute us. This doesn't mean we have to endure abuse but calls us to respond with grace and wisdom. Galatians 6 verse 1 says, "Brothers and sisters, if someone is caught in a sin, you who live by the Spirit should restore that person gently." This verse highlights the importance of approaching difficult situations with grace and humility. Remember that setting boundaries is not selfish. It's an act of self-preservation and can create space for healing and growth for both parties involved. Section 5. The power of forgiveness, the freedom of letting go. Forgiving those who have hurt us can be incredibly difficult, but it's an essential step towards healing. Forgiveness doesn't excuse their actions, it frees you from the bitterness and anger that can poison your heart. Colossians chapter 3 verse 13 says, "Bear with each other and forgive one another if any of you has a grievance against someone. Forgive as the Lord forgave you." This verse reminds us that we are all flawed individuals in need of forgiveness. Just as God has forgiven us, we are called to extend that same grace to others even when it's hard. Remember, forgiveness is a process, not a one-time event. It's okay to grieve the pain you've experienced and to seek support from God and others as you navigate this challenging terrain. Section 6. Stepping into healing, your journey to renewal. Healing from a toxic relationship is a journey, not a destination. It's a process of rediscovering your worth, rebuilding your life, and embracing the future God has planned for you. Psalm 147 verse 3 reminds us He heals the brokenhearted and binds up their wounds. This verse is a beautiful reminder that God is close to the brokenhearted and actively involved in our healing. As you move forward, remember to prioritize self-care. Spend time in prayer, meditate on Scripture, and surround yourself with supportive and loving people. Seek professional counseling if needed, as they can provide valuable guidance and support on your path to wholeness. Section 7. Faith's Triumph. Stories of Hope and Transformation. Throughout history, countless individuals have found hope and healing through their faith in the face of adversity. These stories are not just tales from the past, they are living testimonies that continue to inspire and uplift us today. They remind us that no matter how insurmountable our challenges may seem, there is always a glimmer of hope when we place our trust in a higher power. Their stories serve as powerful reminders that God's love can transform even the most difficult situations. Whether it's a personal struggle, a family crisis, or a community-wide disaster, the unwavering faith of these individuals shows us that we are never alone. God's presence is always with us, guiding us through the storm and leading us to calmer waters. Consider the story of Job, who endured unimaginable loss and suffering yet remained steadfast in his faith. Despite losing his wealth, his health, and his family, Job never wavered in his belief that God had a plan for him. His story is a testament to the power of perseverance and the strength that comes from unwavering faith. Job's story teaches us that even in the midst of profound pain, we can choose to cling to God, trusting in His ultimate goodness and faithfulness. It is a reminder that our trials are not the end of our story, but rather a chapter in a much larger narrative that God is weaving together for our good. Or think of Joseph, betrayed by his brothers and sold into slavery, yet through it all, God elevated him to a position of power and influence. Joseph's journey from the pit to the palace is a powerful illustration of how God can turn our greatest setbacks into setups for His glory. Joseph's life demonstrates that God can work through even the most challenging circumstances, bringing beauty from ashes and fulfilling His purposes in our lives. His story encourages us to remain faithful and hopeful, even when the path ahead seems uncertain. These stories, though centuries old, offer timeless lessons of resilience, hope, and the transformative power of faith, reminding us that even in our darkest moments, God is at work, orchestrating our redemption and guiding us towards a brighter future. They encourage us to look beyond our present circumstances and trust in the divine plan that is unfolding in our lives, knowing that with faith, we can overcome any obstacle and emerge stronger on the other side. Section 8. Embracing a future filled with hope. Breaking free from a toxic relationship is a courageous act of self-love. It's a decision to choose yourself, to choose healing, and to choose a future filled with hope and possibility. Jeremiah 29 verse 11 says, "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future." This verse reminds us that God is not the author of pain or destruction, but of hope, healing, and a future filled with purpose. As you step into this new chapter, remember that you are not defined by your past, but by the boundless love and grace of God. Section 9. Finding your purpose. Stepping into the light. Emerging from a toxic relationship can feel like stepping into the sunlight after a long darkness. The world seems brighter, the air feels lighter, and you're filled with a renewed sense of hope. This is your opportunity to rediscover who you are, to pursue your passions, and to live a life that honors God and reflects His love. Remember that you are fearfully and wonderfully made, created in the image of God, with unique gifts and talents to share with the world. As you embark on this journey of healing and self-discovery, may you find strength in God's unwavering love, guidance in His Word, and hope in the promise of a brighter tomorrow.